I'm the producer on the Explore team.
So I'm Anna Maria. I do game design for the Explore events.
Hi, my name's Olga. I'm an artist.
I'm Lori Hopping, hoppingfun.com. I'm the director and writer of the events, all the special events that we're going to do in season 2 of Cell to Singularity. This year, we learned a lot. I've done 2 of the events. So last year I worked on Extinction, and then I worked on Pollination, the bees and flowers game. So after doing those 2 events, I feel like I'm getting a much better handle on how this whole thing works. I'm understanding it a lot better. And one of the changes we made was for Anna Maria and I, the game designer, she does a lot of the programming and coding as well, to work from the beginning on the tree. To design the tree together from the beginning, and to have our theme and to have our nodes and our generators pretty well worked out.
When Computer Lunch decided to like kind of split us off into our own separate team, it was kind of exciting. We had more or less been doing things a little bit independently from the rest of the team for a little while, but like formalizing it into a unit, we like really polished up the production pipeline and like tried to really focus in on like making new events in a very efficient manner.
We meet pretty frequently over Zoom because most of the other team members are remote, and that works pretty well. We just talk about, what our ideas are, how the playtests are going, how everything's going, and then we figure out what we need to work on that week and who's gonna do what. And usually with my stuff, I work closely with Lillian and Lori to make sure I understand all the content and then find all the images to match the traits and icons and all that.
I think because the team is distributed in such ways that everyone is in charge of their own little sector, it works really well. We contribute a little bit here and there. There's a good balance of listening and direction, and I think that's what makes our team very effective.
Each time I do one of these, I learn a lot, and I think our team is all that way, that we're excited to be learning not just about the topic, but pushing the envelope a little bit in what we can do with the game.
So we're really excited to kick off the season with Deep Sea. There had been murmurings of at least at some point doing a Deep Sea update. I know that experientially, Ryan, who's one of the programmers on the main tree, was very like, we gotta do the Deep Sea. There's some freaky stuff down there. It's deep and dark.
In essence, this game is a science documentary. If you think about it, it's an interactive science documentary. And I think some of the ocean stuff that's come out, especially lately in the last 10, 15 years, has just been breathtaking. They're going deeper, they're going more often, they've got sophisticated technology, and they're finding these things. They're finding new species almost every single dive they do now. And I think it's a pretty good time, I think, to kind of bring that to a general audience.
I think because the sea is so deep and filled with freaky creatures that there's an otherworldly to us, which we like to capture in some of the content that we distribute. There's a lot of different directions we could have taken with it, and we specifically chose adaptability and the sorts of evolutionary survival traits that evolve from such an extreme, dark, and quite frankly, alien environment.
Personally, though, I really liked it from a game design perspective. I thought the idea of like just going deeper and deeper was a very cool aesthetic and lent itself very well to the kind of events that we do.
Every event, every topic we're going to do, there's going to be some plus and some minus to it. In this case, when you think about it, how few people have actually gone to the bottom of the ocean? Very few, and they're usually in a submersible with this little tiny window and maybe a couple of lights and maybe a little grabby arm to get samples. Very limited view. Our challenge with this was photographs. How are you going to get really good, sharp, clear photographs in a very dark environment where the colors are distorted, you're through a fuzzy lens, and you're on the bottom of the ocean? The deeper you go, the more challenging that was.
Because this is deep oceans, not a lot of people go there and take pictures of stuff and then upload it to public domain, so finding good quality images, I think, took a little bit longer this time around, but the editing was faster because the images themselves were very good that we were able to get.
One of the biggest challenges was kind of the readjustment of events. So the like number of nodes we kind of scaled back a little bit from the insanity of like philosophy, which had so many, and having to do a specific amount of time for an event, but having a specific amount of nodes for that like amount of time means that like there's a very tight relationship between how many nodes you can purchase in like a given amount of time.
Because there's so little time, we have to make decisions about what are we going to include, what are we not going to include. And it's not about cutting material so much as figuring out how do we make these experiences fun, efficient. How do we make sure that they still tell a story given the tools that we have? It's a very, what I call like a practical, that's where practical meets creative, and you need to figure out the pinnacle point at which they meet.
It's a lot of pieces. It's very involved. There's a lot of technical details and art details and testing. We love our beta testers, in part because that's where we're going to try some new experimental things, and we get a lot of great feedback from our beta testers.
I'm really excited for like the future of events, and I hope like everyone else is too, and I think they're going to have a lot of fun with Deep Sea in particular, but like everything else we do this year.
So that's the scoop on the Explore team, and thanks for listening. We really look forward to your feedback, the way that you feel about things, and making more stuff.
Thank you everyone for watching. I hope to see you again, and stay cellular.
As always, thanks for playing and stay cellular.
Hi everybody, we're live! Happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way. Happy to have you all here. We're not wearing green, but we're all feeling very deep sea blue, if you didn't already pick up on that. Today we have a very special show for you, because we have, if you didn't notice already, some familiar faces from that video you just watched. Say hi to Lori and Olga.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. They are the faces today for the Explore team. So if you didn't catch all of the video, or you aren't 100% sure about what that means, we have like a little bit of a pod going on in the Cells team that focuses primarily on the Explore events. So Lori, why don't you give yourself a little introduction so people know who you are?
Hi, I'm Lori Hopping. I worked on Extinction and Pollination for anybody who played that. And I'm the director and writer on the new Explore team. And we are dedicated to making season 2 events. This is the first one we've worked on. This is our prototype. We've got a couple of surprises in here, a new format, and we are mulling over all the topics to choose from for the rest of the year. So that's what we're up to next. We don't know what the topic's going to be.
I'm very excited for this upcoming one, though. And also, we have our technical artist, Olga. Why don't you say hello, Olga?
Hi, I'm Olga. I'm working with the Explore team this year to flesh out all the backgrounds and icons and any other art that goes into it. So if you see stuff related to the Explore events, that's me. Except for marketing stuff, that's Emily.
We do a little bit of both. It's a lot of training.
Crossover.
Yeah, there's lots of crossover in the team, which is always fun. I'm very happy to be able to have you both here on the stream with us today, because we're going to be doing a very special deep dive into what we have planned for the newest Explore event, which is Explore Deep Sea Lurking in the Dark. First off, welcome everyone. We're happy to have you here, especially if you're in the US or elsewhere and celebrating St. Patty's Day, and you had plans today but said, hey, I'm gonna tune in for the live stream anyway. So thanks for joining us. To kick things off, because we're able to have Olga on the stream here with us, I am going to queue up some icons that you worked on. We're gonna look a little bit into your art process and the kinds of things that you've made for this event. I'm pulling up here the icon sheet that you gave to me.
Yeah.
It's some pretty
Amazing.
cool
Cool.
stuff. I can zoom into anything that you want to show off, but just like looking at it from afar is really cool.
Yeah, so these are all the icons that we put for this event. The circle ones are generators, and then the square ones are the traits that go with them, and the diamonds are the trophy nodes. So it was a lot of fun looking for images. These creatures are all really cool, and there's definitely like a lot of good images out there. The trouble was trying to find images we could use, so like public domain or being able to, ask for usage permission. So we did a little bit of both, and I think they turned out really good. There was a couple that we couldn't find good images for, so I had to edit them, which you'll see some of that process in the next slide, I guess.
Yeah, I
Lots of,
actually. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Lori.
I was just going to say lots of Photoshop work, and Olga worked really, really hard on these, and I am always impressed with the before and after of these.
Speaking of before and after, I thought it would be really cool to show side by side on the trait icons that you gave me, Olga. It's really
Hmm.
impressive seeing how you've touched them up and made them more dramatic or make them feel more a part of the world. Um,
Hmm.
so let me cue up the first one here. I thought this was like, I don't know if this is a jellyfish or an isopod or what, um,
Hmm.
It's
but it's what?
a phronema.
What is
It's
that?
zooplankton. It's microscopic, and it's just it's a predator. It's a little tiny, tiny hunter.
That's so cool. But here's the image that Olga touched up, and I think it's way more dramatic and easier to read now.
Hmm. Yeah, so we basically wanted to show that barrel shape, and I changed the colors around so it looks like it's in the water. Obviously, the first image, it was from public domain, I believe Wikipedia. That's like the only one we could find that was decent looking. And it's obviously like, a dead specimen. So how do I make this look like more alive? So I looked at other images of ones that were alive and changed the colors, like I noticed in the live ones that they look more red and like little the patterns were easier to read in the claws and stuff, so I tried to highlight those.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
little. So what's cool about this is that barrel shape. It's basically just gutted another creature, another zooplankton. It's just clawed and chewed out the guts, and then it turns that skin into a nursery. So it lays eggs in there and raises its young inside that barrel shape. It's just kind of a weird, a weird way to
Yeah.
live.
Whoa.
It like I guess in the tooltip you said it's like swimming around, then it finds one of these barrels and then just claws out its insides. Yeah.
Whoa. Talk about a hard right turn. But I feel like this
Yeah.
this is just the beginning of all the cool creatures that you chose to feature in this event. There was also this cool little dude that it looks like it's a fish with legs.
The
So this is
tripod.
a tripod fish.
A tripod
They're really
fish.
cool. There's
Oh,
this anime I like where one of the characters they get called a tripod fish and she's like, "Ah!" But I think they're really cute.
I-
They basically use these really long fins to just kind of stand on the floor, and then the little wing things they like slot the food into their mouths. So they just sit there and wait for things to come along to eat.
Yeah, just facing the current, facing all that food coming its way.
I think you captured that really well in this in the image that you edited. I really feel like it's dramatic but effective. It
Hmm.
reminds me of that scene from Beauty and the Beast where he's like coming out of the shadow. Only he's like, "Hi, I'm a tripod fish."
Yeah, and actually there was a photo that looks just like this, so I used that as reference for like where to place the shadows and the colors and everything.
That's so
Piece of
cool.
art.
Yeah, that's why and it's also extra challenging with the icons being so tiny, um, because you need to make sure that it's really readable from far away. Um, so I
Yeah.
definitely got that with this one. Moving on, this is also one of my top three, I think, of all the creatures I learned about with this update. The blood
Hmm.
belly comb jelly. Um, I think you made it look a little bit brighter because I think it glows, doesn't it, Lori?
It does. So those ridges that you see there, those lights are flashing and they go up and down, sort of like a city lights, at night. And those are it's little cilia that are moving. It's moving around in the water, and that's what's making that effect. It's diffusing the light. So it looks like fireworks. All these jellyfish do this as a warning. It's a defense warning. And they do the red color is black down there. So when they're not flashing like that, they're completely invisible. Nobody can see them. But when they're flashing like that, basically they're saying somebody's threatening me and get away. I sting. You're not going to like me. I taste bad. So sending a message.
Message
Yeah,
received loud and
this
clear.
one was pretty easy. I basically just painted some yellow and then set it to color dodge. Um, and that's how you can get that effect in Photoshop.
And by the way, if you want to see a lot of cool videos of these things, particularly this creature, the Monterey Bay Aquarium has a terrific website, and they will show you how that lights up like that, and you'll see it in real time. They have a lot of really good images, and that's where we got kind of inspired by some of the creatures we picked. That's what we found.
Yeah.
They're down there all the time in their submersibles looking at these things. So
Ooh, that's so cool. All
Hmm.
right, and then moving on to the last one, I know that this is a personal favorite of yours, Lori, the anglerfish. I think a lot of people are familiar with this one as well.
Hmm.
What it, so I'm curious why you chose to cut out the other fish. I'm assuming that's in the back over there.
This was really just for clarity reasons. When it scales down, it'll be easier to see the silhouette of that male fish on top when there isn't another one behind it. Kind of, you can't really tell what that is.
yeah, I think that was
Um,
so just to be clear, that is a male anglerfish fusing itself like a parasite to this female, much, much larger female, and it will stay there. It doesn't eat anything except her blood, and it will die there. So this is just an extreme example of you've got nobody around, no mates anywhere. If you find one, you hang on. You don't let go.
yeah.
Um,
And so the funny fact that we unfortunately couldn't show in this icon is that there could be like two or three of these on the female. Like that's so funny. It's
the
just like a
record,
swimming harem.
yeah. I mean, it's just an extreme adaptation. And the females, they look at the jaw, look at the light, they're predators and they eat really well. So they're able to sustain, these parasites that, fertilize their eggs. So yeah, it's kind of a win-win, sort of. I mean, I don't know which one you'd rather be here, but yeah.
I thought relationships were tough enough on land. Jeez. Well, that's super cool, and that's just a fraction of the all the cool creatures that you can find in the event. So if you thought that those were wild, just wait until you see some of the gameplay. Which, if you're hoping to see, you're in luck because we're gonna play a little bit of the event for you right here, right now. Well, I gotta pull it up. Hold on one second.
And thanks again to all the beta testers. We really, really, really appreciate your input. Um,
Yeah,
really
oh, sorry.
better. Hmm.
I totally agree. It's live in beta testing right now. It just recently happened. I'll see if I can post a link to signing up for the beta if you're not already a part of it. We'd love to have you, and we love hearing all of your feedback. It's been really helpful.
Yeah, so that's going to go live at 4 p.m. Eastern time today. The second beta. It's our second round of beta testing. Still fine tuning a little bit. We're in the sunlight zone. Look how bright. Look how much sun. There's tons of critters up here compared to the deep. So this is the contrast. This is the kind of happy place for some of these animals. Nutrients. They look a little bit like candy. They look a little tasty, don't they? You're going to find out what those are in a minute. You might
I
not
would love to
want
know.
to. There we go. Yeah. So this is, yeah, so some of this is familiar, I'm sure. Um, I like the first one is just the phytoplankton is the only plants that are out there are microscopic algae. That's it. And they're all right there at the surface. They got to get that sunshine and they've got to make their sugar out of carbon. Basically, that's what they're doing. Oh, there's the fish. Feels like you're fishing now. That's cool. Yeah. And then copepods. Copepods are one of my favorites, zooplankton. They just look really cool. Um, And zooplankton are microscopic animals, basically, and there's tons of them up there. And they drift around with the algae, and currents take them all over the planet, all over the ocean. They are everywhere, and they're food for everybody. So got to have a lot of them, tons of them actually. And let's see what else. We are just basically building a food chain here. That makes sense, right? What eats what? That's the idea. We got some speedy swimmers here coming up, and if you're in this zone, there is nowhere to hide. Here's the point. There is nowhere to hide. It is just water and sunshine, and you are exposed. There's no rocks. There's no bottom. There's nothing for thousands of miles. So you either got to be super fast, chase or be chased, or you got to be camouflaged. And camouflage is a little tricky when it's bright sunshiny here. So in order to camouflage, a lot of them are two-toned. You'll see a lot of two-toned animals. They're dark on the top, light on the bottom. If you look at them from below, they blend into the sunshine. That's the basic camouflage. So
Got
this
another
though,
fish.
yeah,
Yeah,
lots.
like even in that marlin, you can see the bottom of it is white and the top is dark. That's just to help
Yeah.
out with that camouflage.
Yeah, that marlin, it's a top apex predator. It's streamlined for speed. It can go super fast, and it rounds up these little fish into a bait ball, a little herd, a little circle, and then it zooms through them to feed. And they are hoping to look big and hoping to have enough numbers to survive those attacks. Um, so yeah, so size is an advantage too. What you find up here, what's surprising is when you think of the deep, you think all these animals are really huge down there, and it's actually in a lot of cases the reverse, because there's not a lot of food down there. There's tons of food up here. So all the really really big predators tend to be right here in the sunlight zone. Some of them can dive deeper, but this is where they love to live. And we're about to meet this whale. Um, and the whale was special to us when we started this project, wasn't it, Olga? We kind of had a whale theme going for a little while. So keep your eye on the whale when you play. It's going to come back. We won't spoil it. Here it comes.
I see that some people are asking some questions about the game in the chat. We love seeing that. Just to encourage you guys so that we can get to as many questions as possible. We usually answer questions about the game in our Q&A session at the end of the stream, so hang tight. Make sure to copy and paste it so that we can get to it again.
Yeah, we'll be happy to answer that. One thing about this game, I'm going to give you a tip, because when we're play testing it on the team, you've got to really pay attention to all the generators in this game all the way through. They get a little sneaky, and if you're not paying attention to what's happening with those generators, it's going to go a little slower for you. So we've got 5 generators, and just a little tip: just pay attention to what's being boosted when. It's a little bit structured, a little bit different in this game.
I'm
So,
going to engage a time flux.
great idea.
I'm Darwinium rich, might as well.
Yeah, we want to dive. We want to get to that next zone.
Ooh. Speaking of the trophy node.
There it is, the sinking detritus. That's how you say that word. All of us had to learn how to pronounce that word, detritus. Let's read that tooltip, because I think that's kind of a key point in this game. Is after eating phytoplankton or each other, animals excrete waste full of carbon, nitrogen, and other nutrients. This detritus sinks along with shells, scales, molted skeletons, carcasses, and everything else that can't float. Remember that fact as we descend.
Ooh.
Remember the detritus. Remember the detritus. And what is that picture, Olga? What is that a picture of?
It's the best picture we could find on Shutterstock of a fish pooping.
Pooping.
How lovely. I'm brought back to my childhood days of having goldfish.
Me too.
Things are about to change dramatically here. So now we have a second generator to play with, and we have a little unlock. This is a little cutscene, and there's a sound that goes with it, which is very cool. It's made by Andrew and Lillian, our producer, who did a lot of the audio for this. She also wrote the background music. You hear that little loop? That's Lillian. Shout out to Lillian.
Unfortunately, we can't play the audio music because there's no slider in the game. So it would really cut into all of the audio. I wish we could really show the music because it is super cool. So everyone, when you're playing this event, when it's live, make sure that you turn on the music.
And the audio effects, yeah. So yeah, here we are in the twilight zone. So there is sunlight there. It's twilight. It's not completely dark, but it looks dark to us. So the whole point of this zone is to see in this twilight without being seen, without your enemies seeing you. And they use a lot of tricks to do that. About 90% of them can make their own light. They can glow, but then that makes you visible. So how do you make light and see but not be seen? That's the tricky part of the Twilight Zone. We've got a lot of cool creatures in that section that are using different strategies. You see the barrel shape there? There's your phronema that we just saw earlier.
Familiar
Seeing blue.
friend.
Yeah. So blue light goes the deepest in this zone, and in fact, that's what defines the zone. Is that when the blue light finally peters out, finally can't see it, lurking below is another zone altogether.
How many zones are there total?
So we have 5 zones in this ocean, all defined by light, basically. And I'm not going to spoil it because I think there's a big surprise at the bottom zone and the bottom. Olga worked really hard on. I think you're going to love it. And I think each zone has its own challenges. One of the big questions is, as you go deeper, it gets lonelier. There's so little food. It gets colder, crushing water pressure. Why the heck do these creatures live there? Why do they live in these zones? And that's answered in a whole bunch of ways. They've got really good reasons to be down there.
Well, I'm gonna do one more time flux because I really want to get making light so I can show off this first badge that you unlock.
Again, Olga did the badges, so.
Don't think I have the updated
Ah, yeah.
one in there.
This is still in
This
beta.
is the sketch.
Yeah, so this is still a work in progress, what you're seeing here. There is a good amount that's polished and finished, but there is some stuff that is still being worked on. I know you've been working really hard on the badges, Olga.
Yeah, I have to finish that up today.
Yeah.
Get back to it after this.
Got really different looking badges for this one. I love them. So that little creature there in the Twilight Zone, that's Olga, that's your sea angel, right? You love that one. That's a snail.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a snail that lost its shell and lost most of its color and starts to glow, and it's one singular muscular foot turned into wings. Basically, they're not wings; they're fins, but they look like wings, so it can swim. So it's basically doesn't look anything at all like a snail, but that's essentially what it is. It evolved to live in this zone, live in the Twilight Zone.
It's so
They're
cute.
so cute.
It's beautiful.
I love them.
Beautiful creature.
Jinx. All right. I still at least want to show what you have in mind for this badge so we can show everyone. Hopefully. Oh, yes.
Here we go.
That was enough.
Alrighty, making light. Look at that shape.
It's a good silhouette.
Glow up. It's the glow up badge.
I love that you chose a jellyfish for the first badge.
They're so cool.
Yeah. I went through a lot of different sketches for this, but I think the one we went with was the one that has a clear silhouette, so it stands out from the other badges.
I mean, it shows off the coolest part about jellyfish, in my opinion. I mean, there's a lot that's cool about jellyfish, but like seeing all like their tentacles or stingers or just like the shape of them is what makes them so unique.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're beautiful. I think they're works of art.
A lot of these creatures, I think, are works of art. Like there are so many that are known for like not being pretty. Like I know the blobfish and the anglerfish with like their big mouths and like their teeth and stuff, but they're really cool. And that alone, I think, is why it's so cool seeing it being represented in the game. All right, so I think this is a good stopping point for now for anyone who isn't already in the beta and doesn't know what is to come. So if you want to remain spoiler free for everything after this, I totally get it. Thanks everyone for seeing the gameplay so far, and if you are interested in joining the beta, there are resources on our Discord if you're not already on our Discord, though I would assume you are because I think we have a lot of Discord members who come here from Discord to see the stream. Yeah, thanks everyone for taking a look at the gameplay.
Is the beta live now?
I believe
Beta's
so.
live at 4, right? It goes live at 4?
Oh, yes.
In the hours, yeah.
Yeah, it goes live at 4. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on into another sector, one that I've been working really hard in, is to celebrate the upcoming release of Deep Sea. We're going to be doing another monthly community contest for all of you. If anyone did or participated in Natural Selection Island, the contest where the bat won and the bat was added to the tree, this is kind of in a similar vein, only it's going to be slightly more intense. There's going to be 10 contestants who are going to be competing against each other for who's the coolest deep sea creature down in the trenches. So you can vote for 1 out of 10. There were some familiar faces that we talked about earlier who are contestants, and some ones that are more well known, more popular, and some ones you probably haven't heard of that definitely deserve to be in the spotlight. So that's going to be coming to you soon. It's not live right now, but it is heading in there. The winning creature, based on all of your votes, will win the right to become a Logic Prize. So you'll get to purchase that in the store at some point after we count down all the votes. We're gonna see who comes out on top, or I should say who floats up to the top and then explodes because they can't take the amount of loss of pressure.
Decompress and sad.
No. Blobfish.
Not the blobfish. Voting will start on March 20th. That's this upcoming Monday. Aditya's been helping me out a lot with that, so thank you very much. And we can't wait to see who you all vote for. There's going to be a contest Reddit post coming up on Monday that's going to give some more details, some highlights of all of the characters that are going to be that you can vote for. And yeah, we can't wait to see what all of our fans want to see in the game.
And where can players vote? It's like any social media, or is it any one particular spot?
Yeah, you can vote anywhere that the posts are posted on. Your comments and reactions will all count towards it. We will be providing more details about it in the official contest page, which will be on Reddit, though.
Mm-hmm. Sounds great. I can't wait to see who wins.
Yeah,
especially
me too.
Part of the game afterward.
I know. Our team members are really thinking that the anglerfish is going to win, but I think there are some good, strong contenders. I mean, anglerfish is cool like any of them, but I think everyone should learn about all the other contestants before you just settle on who you think right off the bat.
Yeah, they've all got superpowers. Man, you got to have superpowers if you're going to live down here in the deep. Got to have something for you.
Actually, this I wanted to also include real quick because we all have our favorites, and I think our 3 favorites are actually contestants in this contest. So I thought it'd be fun to just highlight a couple of them so people know who our favorites are. And if you guys also have favorites automatically, share them in the comments. They're fun. Lori, why don't you share who's your favorite deep sea baddie?
Researching all of these, I just keep going back to that anglerfish. I just do, because it checks every single box of deep sea adaptation. There are 250 different species. They live at all the levels. The ones on the bottom use their fins like that tripod fish to stand there. They just do everything. It's every adaptation they can possibly exploit in order to live in this environment. So they're just cool looking. I like them. I wouldn't want to be near one, but yeah.
I don't think I'd want to be
someone in
near
the
most
comments.
of these.
Someone in the comments says that they scared them because of Finding Nemo. I'm similar as well, but I think if you you ever see these in the wild, they're pretty small. Like
They are. They're about the
they're not
size of
gonna
a
hurt you.
yeah.
Yeah. For me, my favorite is the Siphonophore, which I don't think we've talked about yet, but I learned about them during this exploration, and they're just the coolest things ever. They have this kind of like a like there's different ones, but the one that's really cool, it's got this head and it's got a long trail behind it. And if you can imagine, all these like parts of it are individual like creatures or individual polyps, and then they all live together in this long chain. They kind of just like they're like floating cities basically, and they could be longer than a whale. And they just discovered this one that's so big, and it's like the spiral in the ocean. You can see it on the surface, and it's like ginormous. It looks like really terrifying, like a sea serpent of some sort, but they're just jellyfish. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a collective. It's a colony of animals. And that dome thing, that head thing is actually a float. It's how it's a buoyancy, it's gas filled, and it keeps the whole moving, floating city, buoyant up and down in the water. So just
Yeah,
really,
and then throughout the chain, there's like different polyps that swim, and then other ones that eat, and other, so they're like specialized, but they all start out as the same individual, like, but then they specialize after being born. So it's like a very interesting science thing as well.
I think they're definitely the most unique compared to a lot of the other creatures that we've seen. Like, while all of them are unique in their own way, this one was something that really felt like it was from like an alien universe. Um,
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
wow,
They're similar to coral. Coral is the same idea. There's a bunch of polyps living together. This one's cool because it swims. It's not just static on the floor. But the other cool one is the floating man of war. It's actually a siphonophore as well. I didn't know that, but it has the same kind of buoyancy thing, and then tendrils coming off of it, and it kind of grows by like making these polyps and then just like expanding its
Yeah.
colony.
Portuguese man of war. Looks like a jellyfish. I mean, it looks like a big, huge monster, one of the biggest ever. That's the one you're talking about, right? That is,
Yeah,
it's a colony. It's a bunch of them. It's not one thing.
yeah. And there's this like documentary, like the series on TV a long time ago. It's like what will happen to the Earth in a million years, like what would the creatures of evolution look like? And they predicted that at one point the whole Earth will be covered in warm water, and there would just be these giant men of war colonies that just like span like continents. And it was just like that's terrifying to me. They all sting, they're like deadly as well. So um
We could have put that at the end of the extinction game instead of the
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
bring it on. I welcome the men of war. No. And my favorite is Archie in a dive suit. No, it's but it's close. I love the oarfish. I just love his cute, dumb little face. He looks so worried, and like you can't see it here, but he's got like a big like fin that looks like a mohawk. Like I just think he's a real character. I would like to just go out on a dinner date with him and ask him how he's feeling. Um, I think it's a good fish, and it's so long. Like some of them reach up to like 20 feet. It has the most bones out of all the fish in the sea that we know of because there are so many other species we still haven't discovered. Going down
Wow.
into the deep sea is really expensive and requires a lot of resources. So discovering new stuff every day, as you said, Lori.
Yeah, every single day. So the other cool thing about the oarfish is right before the tsunami in Japan in 2011, 20 of them kind of washed up on the shore, and they were deep sea fish. So they were the first ones affected by the earthquake that caused the tsunami. So it was kind of a warning sign
Hmm.
that the tsunami was coming. So watch out if you
Yeah,
see fish on the beach.
they're kind of a bad omen as a result, but I think that just makes me feel bad for them. It makes me like them more. I feel bad that uh yeah they're I feel like they're underrepresented. So my vote for the oarfish and the cool deep sea critters contest is where I'm at.
And there's 7 other ones, so
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough contest, I think.
They're all good. Honestly, they're all winners in my book.
Mhm.
All right. So, I know a lot of you have been asking for the code. I'll give you all a chance to guess it. Um, so, as always, the theme is pretty clear. I'm curious to see if anyone would guess it. We tried to be a little more obscure. Um, the code that I wanted to do wasn't approved. It was too long. It was Siphonophore. Um,
Oh.
yeah,
No.
Ryan and Andrew went with the other code.
Well,
Uh-oh.
I also know what the other one is, and that's a good one. I was like,
They're
we should
both
just go
good.
with that one.
Yeah, they went with
Yeah,
Lori's code. It's a good one.
yeah.
Oh, someone got it!
Yes! Aquila 421.
Detritus. Beautiful.
As soon as you said Lori, picked it out. They knew.
Yeah.
I'm
It's a
forever
good-
going to be associated with this note, right?
We all are. All right, that's
Tasty nutrient.
DETRITUS. Detritus. All caps, no spaces. If there's anyone here who is on iOS, unfortunately, we still are unable to provide codes for iOS due to Apple policy. So the best way to snag this code is if you have access to a Steam account and you can download cells on it. And if you hadn't already, where are you? Where you been? Do it. So you can use the cloud transfer save system to redeem it in Steam and then put it into your account on iOS. And it's totally available for Android and Steam.
The one thing is, I guess make sure the version number is the same if you're like a beta tester, because otherwise it'll might mess up your save.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I've heard some people reporting that if the version number doesn't match up, like because the Android rolls out slower than the Steam. The Steam's pretty instant, but the Android rollout takes a couple days. So maybe wait until your Android's fully updated before you try to do that.
Thanks for the tip, Olga.
Good tip.
It's great having you both on the stream.
Just trying to keep an eye out for you guys. Helping out Jesse get less emails.
We all appreciate it. So that brings us into the final segment of the stream, our Q&A session. So if anyone has any questions, please, we'd love to hear, and we'll answer as many as we can. We are focused on the Explore events, but we will do what we can to answer any questions about the main game as well.
So we do have a question about Season 1 events. Will they continue rotating in and out, and will the Season 2 events just join the roster?
I think that's the plan, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're going to come out faster. This, again, prototype. It's the first one out. So the goal here is to be able to get these out faster and cover a lot more topics. And hopefully that's going to be our next step after this. So.
Not sure what Snow means about fire tablets. Oh, is that? Oh, it's a type of device. Amazon Fire, I think, or
Yeah.
something. I
Anybody?
don't think we're planning on doing a build for that at this moment.
Yeah, I believe we've stopped support for that device. I don't know if or when we'll ever pick it back up. That is a question for Andrew. If you are really curious, you can email us, but I would say I would recommend downloading it on your phone because that's where supported builds are. If you can.
Someone asked about sharks. I don't know if they're going to add more sharks to the main game, but we do have a shark in this game, in the Explorer. There's at least one, and it's a really unusual one, a really unusual shark.
Which they almost guessed there. Greenland shark, right?
Yeah, Greenland shark. Has another name. We went with the other name.
So they got it. I don't know if we're going to be able to add it to the main sim, right? We're working on some other stuff for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right now the team is kind of separated into two mini teams. Like, this is why we wanted to show you more about what this Explore team is about. because they're all working really hard to make sure that we get some fun explore content out to you guys. And then we have another team working on more main game content. So there are going to be some changes that are happening behind the scenes that we'll update you on whenever we can. But in the meantime, our goal is to get as many of these events out as we can in a more efficient way that makes sense for the team to avoid burnout.
Yeah, so Judy is asking about beyond levels. Right now we just have the 17 levels. I don't know how anyone is getting to 50. If there are no 50 levels and beyond. If
And
they could break the game or cheat or something, you can keep playing it like over and over, I think. Maybe. I don't know. I've never been able to do that.
hmm,
I think you
life
can break it, but it's not that's not the game.
Apicera asks, I know the last part of the extinction event was guesses. We're a little speculative, but are you planning to make an event like that documentary, Life in the Future? That's a great idea. Let's think about that. We may do some of that. We've talked about doing exoplanets. We've talked about doing some, stars and life on other planets. But a lot of that is speculative. So we are a documentary, and we have to think about how to do that in a way that's scientific.
uh,
The great idea.
Radco96 was asking if we ever plan on updating the roadmap. We updated the roadmap last month, but if you're talking about updating it since then, we're going to be updating it when we have more ticked off. So that'll probably still be at least a couple months down the road. But again, whenever we do update the roadmap, we post it on Reddit and on Discord as soon as we can. So just keep an eye out for it if you were really curious to see how we're moving along.
So we've been asked what animals didn't make the cut, and the list is very, very long. We only had 47 nodes in this game. So I had to choose between squid, and I'm going to say up front, there's no giant squid in this game, but there is one in the contest. The barrel eye fish, no barrel eye fish in this game, but there is one in the contest. So we were able to get it, and the oarfish is also in the contest, not in the game. But we do have some really cool creatures that are really great examples of adaptation in the game. Um, and a lot of other creatures copy what they do. They do the kind of the same thing. So a lot of our decision making was based on how to show an adaptation and show a specific example and as many adaptations as we could. There's so many creatures though. It was, really, really hard to choose. Some of
We
them
have a
are also based on what photos were available.
uh, question about the Meso Valley. Right now, we're not planning to add anything else to Meso Valley. We are currently working on other parts of the game. We don't have the bandwidth to work on that right now. But in terms of the future, I mean, personally, I would like to polish it up and rework it a bit. And also, someone said adding more dinosaurs. I think that would be cool. Not sure if we have the bandwidth for that this year, though.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it's definitely not a this year thing. But more dinosaurs are always on the nice to have list.
Definitely. Um,
See some suggestions for topics too. Keep those coming because we are still sifting through our list. Some of you may remember we did a survey and we had hundreds of people weigh in on those topics. We've looked at all that data. We're still looking at it. We're still parsing what we're going to do next. Nothing is set in stone for the rest of the topics. It's a great time either here in the Discord on social media to let us know what you're passionate about, what you want to learn about, what you want to explore.
yeah, I'm writing down all your stuff on a note page so we can have it.
Thank you.
What are your 3 favorite dinosaurs? I play them as Lug Valley. I think I'm on Prestige 3 or 4 now. 4. What are your favorite dinosaurs, Olga?
We had a contest for this, and I was really rooting for Archaeopteryx, but it came in second place, so
Oh yeah, that
I
was
think I'm okay
Mesozoic
with that.
Mania.
Yeah, yeah. How about you, Emily?
My favorite dinosaur? I like the Triceratops, and I think it's because whenever I see it in like those uh, computer animated like documentaries about what life was like, the Triceratops I feel like is always the one that gets eaten. But it's still
Oh
really
no.
cool, and it has its horns. Like it would have been good at defending itself. So, um,
Yeah.
I'm just sad that it's always. I'm sensing a pattern here with the oarfish. Like I just root for the underdog, I guess.
The dodo.
Yeah, I want to see a Triceratops take out a T Rex.
Cool.
How about you, Lori? What's your favorite dinosaur?
I love them all. I have written a lot of children's books, and when you're in the children's book field, you get to know the dinosaurs. It's a popular topic, so I think they're all cool. And strange and weird and fun, and I can see why kids love them. I can see why I had to learn them. I learned them all.
You're just not gonna play favorites, huh?
I'm not. No, I collected my 50 dinosaurs over and over. They're all precious to me now.
Oh.
I'm adding a link to the feedback form for event topics. We'd love to hear your input on it, guys, if you haven't already filled it out.
Thank you. Please do. We look at that. We parse that data. We're gonna try and find the best topics we can this year.
I would love to share it at some point this year. The information from it's been really helpful so far.
And a variety. So last year, you can think about those 6 topics. They were so different, right? We're going for that again this year.
All right, I think we have enough time for one or two more questions. Then we'll call it a stream.
There's a question about being able to replay events without having to wait for them to appear again. I'm not sure if we have any plan on doing that,
I think they're going to
but
keep rotating, certainly for this year. Um,
yeah.
New players come into the game. So when you think about it, if you're a new player and you haven't played any of the events and or the expansions, there's a lot of content in this game. There's a ton of content.
There's a question asking if I have any idea about being officially recognized on Steam. Do you mean like communicating with our company account, or just like being recognized as a user? I don't know off the top of my head everything about Steam. I'm not the only one who lurks on there on the team. We all kind of share an account. So I'll answer however I can, but I don't know if that's really my expertise. If you had questions about Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, I know way more about that.
Hmm.
Question about why do more events? We're getting good response from them, and it's a way for us to take a topic that's maybe just one little node on the tree, on the main tree, or one little small piece of the game, and really do a deep dive into a topic. Excuse the pun. We are
Hmm.
deep diving here into the oceans, but it's a way to really tell a story in a much more narrative and kind of interesting way with all the detail that goes with that. And I love that because I think once you get into a topic and you really start to, peel away the layers of the onion, you can really do that in these explore events in a way that it's a little harder to do with the main game because you're really just kind of moving along on the tree, big leaps on the tree between the technology and the evolution. So
Yeah, so the thing with our team right now is that we are a satellite team, so there's other people on the team, like on in the company working on other updates, like
yeah.
concurrently.
Mhm. Yeah, the company's grown. So I joined last year, and we've got another new person coming on board in April, and it's getting bigger. And that's the idea is we're gonna start having multiple teams working at the same time, and we just started that process this year.
Our goal
Yeah,
is
so
to
we are also working on other updates at the same time. There's a question about why we're doing events instead of other updates, but the answer is we're doing both.
We're doing both, not
Hmm.
an either or.
This is just an explore event highlighted stream. We wanted to show you what we have in store for you because this content is really close to being finished, and we're really excited about it. Um, oh, my phone is going off. Apologies. Ignore that. But yeah, no, like we wanted to share with you Team Lola, or the Explore event team, because you guys have worked so hard to make this really cool content, and that's also a big reason why we want to hear from you guys through the feedback form that we released, because we really try to put as much into account your feedback as possible with these events. If there's a topic you're really passionate about, we want to hear it, because it's really cool to see how that could be made into an event, especially if that's a topic that doesn't fit too well on the main tree. So yeah, it's a little bit of everything for everybody, but there's also main game content being supported as well.
At the same time. And I love that fans are making trees, making their own trees. We, every time somebody posts a new tree in the Discord, I just think that's so great. It takes time and research, and you got to think about it. You know, what are the nodes? What are the generators? Some people even are doing their own logos. I love that. Fan art, I love it.
We're always lurking in the Reddit and Discord channels and seeing what you guys are up to. Oh, no pun intended, I guess.
Lurking.
All right. Well, I think that brings us to the end of our stream. Thank you, Lori, and thank you, Olga, so much for joining me. It's always a pleasure to have you both. I'm just gonna go into this mode right now so we can see your faces. And thank you, everyone, for joining us on our stream. We're always excited to share with you whatever we have coming up, and we hope you're looking forward to explore deep sea lurking in the dark. Right.
Stay cellular.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Stay cellular.
Have a good day. Stay
Woo!
cellular.
Happy St. Patty's Day.
Yay.
Bye.